it's been a while since my last upload. Sorry about that, but YouTube refuses to acknowledge that I am in fact eligible to start getting monetized on my channel, and they continue to keep me in limbo.
I am he who fears neither God nor man. I am the eyes of the abyss peering back. I am the sole arbiter who races up kings among peasants. I am the algorithm of algorithms.
So I thought it would be at least a quick and easy process and I could get back to uploading after I got monetized, but no. I'm just sitting around waiting, twiddling my thumbs, so I figured maybe I should actually do something. Anyway, on with the actual video. Sorry about that. But anyway, I was recently watching a video from a YouTuber that has absolutely nothing to do with video games, but more to do with business and history, but I couldn't help but notice the parallels between the stories he was telling and the modern corporatized sphere of video games in general.
Where a 1970s Time magazine article described younger workers as feisty, ebullient, and unwilling to put up with things as they are, as many younger workers felt union leaders were out of touch with the realities of the changing workforce. And despite record wage increases, like the iron workers' 30% raise in 1973, money alone failed to address grievances over working conditions and job meaning. And as one union leader lamented, the younger generation is not satisfied. I don't understand what they really want, what it would take to satisfy them. And unlike how this union leader was actually able to articulate his concerns, today these actions would label Gen Z as both lazy and entitled.
Now, I know this excerpt revolves around union leaders in the workforce of both then and now, but does this sentiment remind you of anything? Because when I heard this statement, my mind immediately went to the modern era of game studio C-suite executives and the way they label the fans of their games who criticize their work. Instead of trying to figure out what players actually want, instead of actually listening to the criticisms for what they are and trying to improve their games based upon those criticisms, they say, "You get what we give you and you shall not complain, for if you do, you are toxic and entitled."
By 1970, economist Milton Friedman published a Friedman Doctrine, The Social Responsibility of Business is to Increase Its Profits, where he reinforced the idea that a company has no obligation to the public or society, only to its shareholders. Where Friedman famously wrote, "The businessmen believe they are defending free enterprise when they declaim that business is not concerned merely with profits, but also with promoting desirable social ends. That business has a social conscience and takes seriously its responsibilities for providing employment, eliminating discrimination, avoiding pollution, and whatever else may be the catchwords of the contemporary crop of reformers. In fact, they are, or would be if anyone took them seriously, preaching pure and unadulterated socialism. Businessmen who talk this way are unwitting puppets to the intellectual forces that have been undermining the basis of a free society these past decades."
And herein lies the doctrine that is driving the current era of AAA games. So yes, once again, I know that this clip is about the workforce and the history of labor in America, but I promise I am going to make it relevant. Effectively, the AAA corporations have no obligation to provide you with the product that you want as long as the current model is making the money. That is all that matters, and as it stands, most of their releases make them money because of the in-game stores. Therefore, with this doctrine in mind, there is no reason for AAA companies to ever stop prioritizing in-game stores and overinflated microtransactions, thereby reducing the amount of resources that they spend developing the mechanical game itself. I feel like a broken record saying this, and this is not new information at all, but AAA corporations do not care about you or what you want. They only care about what is going to make them money. Obviously, this is the goal of any business. This should be a good business's goal, right? I mean, you gotta make money to stay in business, so if you're not making money, then, well, how are you gonna continue your business? But when the only motivation is making money, then you are willing to sacrifice the wants and the needs of your consumers that are actually using your products in order to maximize your bottom line. So again, this is nothing new. All right, there's nothing new under the sun. But until the audiences of these games start speaking with their wallets instead of their Twitter posts, nothing's gonna change. Nothing is ever going to change. 90% of these corporations are never going to make better games just because they have a social responsibility to provide the players with what they want. All that they're thinking is they have a responsibility to their shareholders. And you would think that giving the players what they want would ultimately lead to better shareholder experiences, but apparently that's not the case. I don't know. If it was, I feel like we would be getting the best games in the world. But as it stands, we're mostly not. So I guess I don't understand how shareholders exist. The stock market isn't even real, so why does anyone care what they think? But if it ever comes to the point where AAA corporations are making games that are truly beloved by their core audiences, it won't be because they care about their audience. It will be because that is the popular trend at the time. It will be because that is the profitable trend at the time. It will be because their shareholders are making more money from it, which honestly is great for everyone involved. It's great for the company, it's great for the players, it's great for the shareholders. So why is it not the focus? Because the current model is making them enough money. It is giving them enough growth. So why would they take the risk and try something different when the current approach is working? Although it's arguable as to whether it's actually continuing to work or if it's on a downward spiral, like kind of with the case of Ubisoft. Oh man, I feel like such a freaking loser applying historical labor doctrines to the modern era of video games. But you know, that's just who I am. But anyway, let's bring it back around. If your favorite franchises start making good games again, think like Battlefield or the next Elder Scrolls or the next Halo, it will not be because these companies like Bethesda or 343 magically started caring about their players overnight. No, they will never care about you. Just get it out of your head, okay? They're never coming back. They left to get milk after Skyrim. They are never coming back with the milk. They're gone. They found another gamer that they like better who spends more money on them. Okay, you little broke boy? You gonna cry, you little broke boy, because your daddy Todd Howard left you? Yeah, he's not coming back. The only reason they will start changing the way they make games is because the current model will fail them, which I do think it will. Now, think about this. Do you think the next GTA is going to be one of the most hyped up games in history because Rockstar cares about its audience? No, absolutely not. The only reason why Rockstar is putting as much focus and attention on GTA 6 is because of how much money GTA 5 made them. If they actually cared about their players, then Red Dead Online would not be dead, but it is. No company is safe. Don't ever get it twisted, and don't hear what I'm not saying, okay? If a game comes out and it's really good, then that's great. I'm really glad, and I have no problem spending money or seeing other people spend money on the game. If you want to give credit to the studio or the developers, that's great. If they made a good game, they deserve the credit and the recognition. But don't ever believe that the game is good because the publisher cares about you. There's only one thing that they care about in this business:
money.
Now, of course, I know there are exceptions to this rule when I think of a game like Stardew Valley or Minecraft or even Palworld. These games probably started as just pure passion projects and then exploded into popularity that the original developers were never actually expecting. And that popularity doesn't necessarily mean they ever stopped being passion projects. Like, there's no reason to think that Mojang is just in it for the money. I'm sure he appreciates the money. I'm sure he loves how much money he's making, but I'm sure he also has a deep-rooted respect and love for not just his game, but for the players who are actually enjoying it. And the same can be said of Stardew Valley and Concerned Ape. And so yes, there are exceptions. Some developers actually care about their players, but for the most part, these are the tiny little indie developers. These are the ones you probably actually never hear about. So it isn't a de facto law of video games that the people who are making the games or publishing the games never care about their players. It's just a business doctrine that I would argue the vast majority of video game companies hold to, because after all, the vast majority of them are purely in it for the business. Bit of a long rant today, but you know, I actually enjoyed thinking about these concepts after I watched that video. Go check his videos out. You know, he's really great. He makes it all very relevant, history and whatnot. Damon Cassidy, I recently found him and I've been binging his videos lately. Anyway, subscribe to him, subscribe to me. Let me know what you guys think, how you feel, if you think there are any other studios that I didn't mention that actually really care about their players and the people playing their games. I would love to hear from you in the comments, and as always, take care.